Welcome back, happy to see you all guys. Here we are in a new episode. I would like to start by thanking all the people watching for their time. Your comments and engagement push me forward in continuing this project. I know you guys see the big Patreon panel. No need to be afraid. This series will continue on YouTube and be free for anyone to watch, along with all the code. I'm plugging my Patreon account for anyone who wants to support the tutorial even more. I'm planning to expand to more than just tutorials, written content with examples. Start botting projects together where you guys can work with me to make something great. There are even more ideas, but I will keep the rest for the hype factor. I'm also plugging my Discord user for anyone that needs help with a botting project. Feel free to reach out on Discord. Now, for today's script. This is somewhat a simple script. We are going to develop a script to drop empty potions and loot items dropped by Nex. While collecting items is somewhat complicated, we're going to take a simple approach. In Runewild, items drops under player, not under the boss. Here, we have two functions. Drop empty pots is given the number of empty potions it uses. Find pots to find empty potions, then uses these position with drop item function to drop them. Dropping items is a simple process. We already have our pots finder. What we have to do is right-click, then click on drop for each empty potion. To not overcomplicate things, this will be done blindly using fixed positions. This works because the right-click menu is displayed based on the mouse position when we right-click. Drop item will be our universal function for dropping any item. All you need to provide is the position of the items on screen and whether it's an item with a long right-click menu. We know that empty potions have short right-click menu, so the long argument of drop item will be false. Now we want to measure the pixels from the point we right-click to the drop option. As we can see on the bottom of the app, it comes to about 75 pixels in height, so the drop position will be same x-coordinate as the right-click point, and the y-coordinate will be -75. This is for the long right-click menus. For the short right-click menu, we measure to the drop option again, and it's about 45 pixels in height. There is also the fact that the right-click menu is displayed in a different position for the last two rows. We have to take that into account. Now, you might think, this is getting complicating. Why don't we just image search the drop text? While that is easier in this case, but it's a good habit to do the simplest solution in terms of using resources, especially for a bot that will have many preloaded images in RAM. We will measure the distance from the right-click point to the drop option for last two rows as well. For the last row, it comes to about 17 pixels for the long menu. And 33 pixels for the short menu. Also, make sure we distinguish between last row and other rows using the item y-coordinate. If it's higher than 455, it's a last row item. There is a mistake here. Y-coordinate increases as we go down, so we should add these values, not subtract them. Let's run a quick test on our functions to make sure it works as expected. Let's try dropping empty potions in every possible inventory position. It's not clicking drop. Looks like I forgot to add the second click. Let's also add a delay after dropping an item, because it's doing it too fast. It's working for all rows except the last row. It's clicking Examine instead. We should recheck our measurements. We could try a 10 pixels shorter distance, because we know that it's clicking a bit lower than we want. Okay, good, it worked. Let's try items with a long right-click menu. This time it's the second to last row. To make things straightforward, we will add a specific measurement for the second to last row too, but that's for items with long right-click menu only, because we know short menus already work fine for that row. Now let's test. Looks like we fixed the issue. Let's try with full inventory to make sure we didn't mess anything up. Great. Lastly, do a full inventory of empty potions. Wonderful. With this, we have a fully functional item dropping script. This will virtually work on any item we want to drop. What we want to do next is a small script that collects items directly under our character. This is because when Nex dies, items will be dropped under the character, not Nex. I'm planning to do this using a hover and check sequence. So we will hover over the area under the character and check if we're hovering over an item or not before clicking. For the checking part, we will use the top left corner to look for the item's orange color. In short, if there is a number of pixels with that color in that area, we're hovering over an item. We need to get the exact color values of the item's text displayed in the top left corner. Let's take a screenshot of that and see what we get. As you can see, the color we're looking for is 64 blue, 144 green, and 255 red. We also want to get the region of the text. It doesn't matter if the item's name is short or long because we will use a minimum number of pixels, meaning if there are orange pixels, more than some number we specify, we're hovering over an item. Actually, it's better to have anything that interacts with the game world in a separate module. Let's call it world.py. If we want to do anything related to game objects, we will use world.py. To get the number of pixels with a specific color, we will use a CVBot function called countColor. The check function will be called isItem. This function will return true if the point we're hovering on is an item. Let's check how many orange pixels we get when we hover over this item we got. Okay, so 0 when we're not hovering and 333 for this specific item. We can say if there are more than 100 orange pixels detected in the top left corner, we're hovering over an item. Let's do a test to confirm it doesn't return true for other objects we hover over. Lovely. It's returning true only when we're hovering over an item. This will do the job. As I mentioned in the previous episode, bot.py will be responsible for anything that requires interaction with the game, and we will leave everything else in a specific module. The function collectItems will be used to hover over a 10 by 10 area under character. We will hover over each pixel in that area and check if that pixel has an item. We will call move to move the mouse to the point we want to check. Then call world.py function isItem to check if we're hovering over an item. If so, we will simply left-click. Time to test our looting script. Very nice, it just picked up the item. I would like to thank you all for tuning in. This series has been nothing but a pleasure to make. I hope it has been clear for all you guys watching. Please feel free to let me know if you're having any trouble understanding any part of the series in the comments below. In the next episode, we will be talking about the last detection functions, and probably the most interesting part, next HP and next position. Take care.